Hi, and welcome to this week's video update.
It's great, babe. I hope you guys had a good week. I had a very good week. I'm just going to turn this glare down a little bit. I've been mostly just keeping house and doing things like that, so it was sort of nice to take a week off and just do the kind of posts that I used to do, basically just wedding showcases and engagement showcases all week long. Part of me really likes doing the articles and the different things from the editor and guest posts and all that sort of stuff, but it is kind of fun sometimes to just chill out and look at, Disney wedding porn and just enjoy all the pretty pictures. So that was kind of fun. I have a giveaway. I sort of had a theme for this upcoming week. I'm still sort of debating about it just because this week was so chill and I've just got all the house stuff. I have so many things that are pulling me away from the computer right now. And it's one of those things where if there's, paint on my hands, or if I'm in the middle of putting together furniture, or I'm doing 40 loads of dishes, it's hard to stop and be like, oh, I need to go post and try to get things up there before 11 o'clock at night. So we'll see. But we are going to have a different giveaway. I just don't know if we're going to have a full-out theme. You guys seem to be sort of into the spotlights. I don't know if you had any feedback as far as what you'd rather see next week. I know a lot of people really like when I put DIY projects and things like that. There's also been positive responses to those first dance videos and other things that people can really use for their wedding planning, which makes sense because that's the kind of stuff that I used to look for too. So I could do more of that. The hardest thing is that a lot of that stuff is not, I'm not making projects and then sharing my own DIY with you. So I have to go through and see what people have put up recently and then figure out, okay, well, did they share that everywhere? Because if they shared that everywhere, you guys have probably seen it. Which is sort of, and that's hard. It's hard when all of the wedding blogs are sharing the same thing. I kind of ran into that with the Pixar shoot, that gorgeous up-inspired engagement shoot. I saw that originally on a bunch of other blogs, but it was one of those things where I was like, I could post it too, but I didn't know if other people were subscribed to that, if they would just get this post that had the same pictures over and over and over again, no matter what blog they looked at. So I decided to wait a couple days, and it actually paid off because she posted some more pictures from that shoot. Which, by the way, we don't have any control over our mailbox because we're renting, but when we do get a mailbox, I'm totally going to do that Carl and Ellie thing. So I thought that particular picture set was just the cutest. So that was fantastic. All of the spotlights that I did this week were really fantastic. I really feel like, when I first thought, okay, I'm only going to spotlight certain Disney weddings that look to me like they could have fallen out of bridal magazines, because I wanted to change that whole image of Disney weddings being tacky and plastic and whatever. I have to admit, part of me was kind of thinking, am I going to be able to find enough weddings on a regular basis that look like they could be professional, glossy showcase weddings? And ever since I started really trying to just keep it to this incredibly high standard, I've just been swamped. I think I've seriously got at least 80 on the back burner that I can still share with you. And I've been trying really hard to start going back and be like, okay, this wedding is 2 years old. I really need to share it before it's officially oh, look at this vintage Disney wedding. So, I just think I'm really excited about how many great photographers have gotten involved in Disney weddings and are sharing their work. I'm excited about how many different brides are now getting into sharing their wedding planning and their weddings with each other. It's really fun. So, one of the things that did come up this week when I was sharing some of the engagement spotlights was there's this question about, okay, we're looking at these great pictures, but these are in-park pictures and this isn't a Disney photographer. So what kind of special license or permit did they have or whatever? Okay, the official rule on that, which I think there's been some confusion because the rule changes, but this is official as of this winter and it's currently the rule. Only Disney photographers can do professional photography inside the parks. So it's not that there are professional photographers making special arrangements with Disney. It's not that, there's a special list these photographers want to be on. It's that if there are photographers who are professional photographers and who are taking paid sessions and they're using locations that are inside of Disney theme parks, that technically is against Disney's rules. Now, I don't want to come across as like a whistleblower or anything here, because I personally think that the rule stinks. And I think that professional photographers have done such amazing stuff that, I'm not going to be the one to be like, oh, shame, shame, you weren't supposed to do that. That being said, if you haven't had a session yet, and you're thinking about booking a photographer and you really want a Magic Kingdom session, but you really like this particular photographer that isn't Disney, you need to make sure that you talk to them and talk about the fact that there's this rule in place and that they aren't supposed to be doing the session, because you might find a photographer who's willing to bend the rules, who is aware of the rule and who is fine with it. You might find a photographer who tells you, yeah, I can do an in-park session, but then when you explain that Disney says that they're not supposed to be in there, they might tell you, oh, well, I'm not going to do it. And it's just one of those things where you have to respect that, because especially for Orlando area photographers who could be shooting, Disney events and things like that that aren't taking place in the theme parks, such as weddings that are happening at the pavilion or at the boardwalk or wherever. A lot of those photographers don't want to get on Disney's bad side, and I think that totally makes sense. It's just not, and I wouldn't want photographers who were popular for events and things like that weren't happening in the parks to suddenly get banned from everything because they decided to chance it and do an engagement session in the parks. And then, as far as the photographers that are doing this, that I've shown their work, I don't know if they're aware of the rule. I have never called up a photographer and said, oh, I see you put this great park session up, way to be a rule breaker. I mean, it's just, that's what it is. So the official rule, no outside photographers inside Disney parks. If you wanted to get around that rule, that is between you and the photographer. My personal opinion, if I was going to go down, and especially if I was not living in Florida and I was flying down for my engagement session, would I risk taking a professional photographer into the parks? I don't know, because I'm not sure what they do if they catch you. I don't know, especially if I was an annual pass holder. I don't know that I would risk it. And I think that there are so many great resort locations where outside photographers are always welcome. So, even if you don't even have to be staying on property. I mean, you can have any photographer you want and take your portraits at Boardwalk, at the Polynesian, around the Wedding Pavilion, the Grand Floridian. I mean, a ton of resort locations that are very popular among Disney brides. I think I would lean towards that these days, just because as far as paying for a park session that I wasn't really supposed to be having, I think I'd be a little bit too nervous to do that. Because we don't have a theme this week, I, again, just picked a song that I wanted to share with you guys. This time it is from Harry Connick Jr., who is a personal favorite of mine. I like that kind of music, and ever since I was in, 7th grade, When Harry Met Sally has basically been one of my favorite movies of my entire existence. So, and Harry Connick Jr.'s music was all through that. So I have a deep, deep, deep love for Harry. And he did a version of Bare Necessities that is fun and classy, and I think perfect for a reception that was using Disney music in a very adult way. So I'm going to include a little clip of it here, and then you guys can preview the rest of it if you'd like to on our YouTube channel. So yeah, and I hope you guys had a good week. I'm looking forward to next week. We'll see if I've got a theme or not. If you have any opinions on that, feel free to weigh in this weekend, because I'll probably still be mulling that over as of Sunday. And I will announce the giveaway tomorrow on Saturday, so if you haven't entered, go ahead and pop over and enter that one, because those little things are really cute. And yeah, that's about it. So thanks for reading, and I will talk to you guys next week.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities.